My mother-in-law sold my house while I was recovering from childbirth. She ended up dirt poor. My husband Ryan and I bought our house 3 years ago using my inheritance from my grandfather. The deed was in my name only because Ryan had terrible credit from student loans. It was a small 3-bedroom place but perfect for starting a family, which we'd been planning since we got married. Ryan's mother Diane had been a nightmare since day one, constantly saying Ryan married down because I was a nurse and she'd wanted him to marry his ex who was a lawyer. She especially hated that I owned the house and Ryan didn't. She kept telling everyone Ryan was living in his wife's house like some kept man. When I got pregnant, Diane suddenly became interested in our living situation. She started dropping hints about how we needed a bigger place for the baby, how the neighborhood wasn't good enough, how her friend was a realtor who could get us a great deal. I told her we were perfectly happy where we were. The nursery was already painted, the house was paid off, and we didn't need a mortgage with a baby coming. That made her furious because it reminded her that I'd bought the house outright and Ryan couldn't have done that. 2 months before my due date, Diane started showing up when Ryan was at work, bringing random people she said were friends who wanted to see the house. I thought it was weird, but pregnancy brain made me too tired to argue. She'd walk them through every room, pointing out things she'd change, talking about the house like she knew everything about it. Then she asked to borrow my house keys because she wanted to drop off baby supplies while we were at work. Ryan thought it was sweet that his mom wanted to help. I gave her the spare key. Big mistake. 3 weeks before my due date, Diane convinced Ryan that I needed to add him to the deed before the baby came, saying it would protect our child if something happened to me during delivery. She actually printed out deed transfer papers and brought them to us. Ryan was confused because he thought his name was already on it. I explained again about his credit situation from when we bought it. Diane acted shocked, said that was so long ago and surely it didn't matter now. She kept pushing until I said we'd discuss it after the baby was born. Labor started fast. My water broke at 2 in the morning and Ryan rushed me to the hospital. I was in labor for 37 hours. During that time, Diane had Ryan's phone because he was focused on me. She kept leaving the room to supposedly update family members. What she was actually doing was texting from Ryan's phone and handling something completely different. Our daughter was born healthy, but I hemorrhaged and needed emergency surgery. While I was unconscious, Diane told Ryan he needed to go home and get my insurance cards from my desk because the hospital needed them. That was a lie. The hospital already had everything. While Ryan was gone, Diane stayed in my room. She went through my purse, found my driver's license and social security card, and took pictures of everything. She also had Ryan's information from his phone. 2 days later, while I was still recovering and learning to breastfeed, a woman showed up in my hospital room with papers. She said she was from the title company and needed me to sign some corrections on the deed transfer to add Ryan's name. I was on pain medication, exhausted, had just fed the baby, and Diane was standing right there saying this was what we'd discussed. She said the lawyer made a mistake and put the transfer date as that day instead of 3 years ago when we bought it. I was so out of it, I signed where she pointed, except it wasn't adding Ryan to my deed. It was transferring the house to Ryan only. And Diane had already arranged for Ryan to sign papers the day before when he went home, telling him it was power of attorney paperwork for my medical decisions. 5 days after giving birth, we came home to find our locks changed and a sold sign in the yard. Diane was standing in the driveway with a man she introduced as the new owner. She said Ryan had sold the house because we needed something bigger for the baby. She'd set up the whole thing, used the photos of my documents to forge initial agreements, had Ryan unknowingly sign the sale papers, and sold my house for cash to her friend's son for half its value. The buyer, Kevin, was standing there smirking, already having contractors there to start renovations. Ryan was completely confused, said he never agreed to sell anything. Diane said he signed the papers and she helped facilitate everything as his mother. She actually said I should thank her for handling everything while I was being dramatic at the hospital. I called the police, but they said it was a civil matter since papers were signed. Kevin said all the paperwork was legal, and we had 72 hours to get our stuff out. Diane had already rented us an apartment across town, a 1-bedroom place she said would teach us to be grateful. She kept saying young people didn't need to own houses anyway. Here's where Diane messed up. Kevin wasn't just her friend's son. He was a contractor who'd lost his license 2 years ago for fraud. Full story on channel, link below.